Hey, what's up guys? Gemini back with another video. Today to talk about we're going to look at self-destruction of the ultimate warrior. Hey, what's up guys? Gemini back with another video. And hey, what I wanted to do in this video today is I wanted to talk a little bit about what happens when people get to know me in real life outside of YouTube, and they meet me for the first time and they come over to my house and they bang on the front door. They come upstairs with me to say, watch the big bitch, and then they look behind me and they see this. Most people's reaction to find out that I'm a hardcore pro wrestling fan, it's funny. It either is silence, like, oh yeah, I used to watch that when I was a kid, or it's amazement because they can't believe that one guy would be so into something, or three, they give you a lecture about, oh yeah, well you know it's fake, right? It's like, and that's generally people's reaction when they first meet me in real life. It's either the lecture, amazement, or silence. And that kind of seems to be the way it's gone for me with this pro wrestling thing through the years. You know, whether somebody else likes it or not, I'll never stop watching pro wrestling based on someone else's opinion, someone else's reaction, someone else's thoughts. I'll never give up this, you know, because of someone else's opinion. I will admit that when I was in school and stuff, and people find out about the wrestling problem, they sometimes would stand back a little bit and they would kind of think that I was a different kind of cat. They really thought that something was wrong with me when I started wearing my Four Horsemen shirt to high school. I mean, people have never understood the wrestling thing. They've never gotten it. People outside of the wrestling bubble have never really understood how someone could be so into pro wrestling. So for human nature, they tend to criticize, you know, like what they don't understand. I mean, I could remember sitting in class and you know, the other guys knew that, you know, I was a pro wrestling fanatic, and so what would they do? They would start fake fighting at work. And so in a lot of ways through the years, if I didn't want to get made fun of by people, a lot of times I couldn't tell people that I was a pro wrestling fanatic unless I knew that they were a wrestling fan back. A lot of times I just had to kind of keep it quiet because I didn't want to get made fun of in school. So a lot of times I would, junior high and high school stuff, I would not wear my wrestling shirt to school and stuff because I didn't want people to make fun of me that day. You know, people have been making fun of me my whole life for watching pro wrestling. I mean, let's put it this way. I get really upset on the inside when I sit down with someone and they tell me that pro wrestling is fake. In fact, I've told the story to a few people, but actually once I was at a Denny's in 1998, and I was on a date with a gal, and we're sitting at the table, and we're having our food, and you know, out of the blue, you know, she didn't know I had a wrestling problem, and out of the blue, she looks at me, she goes, "Hey Vince, you know what I hate on TV?" And I says to her, I said, "What do you hate on TV?" And she goes, "I hate that fake wrestling stuff on TV." Oh man. So, at this point, you can continue with this date, or stand up and walk out on her. And I stood up and I walked out on her. I wasn't going to sit there and take that. I get mad too when people just openly start talking trash about wrestling in front of me. It infuriates me on the inside when people make fun of wrestling in front of me, and they use the infamous four-letter word, F-A-K-E. That word is banned from ever being said on this channel again. I think the word fake and phony, but especially fake, I think the word fake has bothered me more because I know how real this stuff is. And so when I overhear conversations about it, that stuff is so fake, that stuff is so fake, it gets to me on the inside. It does. It infuriates me. And when I was working at this place like 4 or 5 years ago, man, and the manager, you know, he was cool. He was a hell of a cool guy. But when it came to the whole wrestling thing, man, he would get him and he'd get 2 or 3 of the other managers, and they would start fake fighting, fake wrestling right in front of me, right where I was working. I'd be in the middle of my workday, and these guys would come out in the office, and they knew I was a WWE fanatic, so they'd come out and start fake fighting in front of me. I mean, it was crazy. He would stand about 2 inches from my face, and he would say, "Hey Vince, you know it's fake, right?" And it's like, oh man, that shit used to bother me a lot. When people would always be like, "Yeah, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake." I hate that. I hate that word fake. Because it's so, I'm not stupid, but there's so many things that are so real about it. And it's like, you want to disrespect Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton, Batista, Triple H. You want the McMahons, you want to disrespect these icons, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. You want to disrespect these icons right in front of me. It hurts. It hurts when people call it fake. Sometimes the reaction when someone finds out about my wrestling problem, it hurts a little bit too. You know, you're not crazy if you're a pro wrestling fanatic. You're not crazy at all. But sometimes people outside of the wrestling bubble, when they see this, when they see the DVDs, they think that I belong in a straitjacket or something. Look, the wrestling thing is just something I got into, you know, when I was a young kid, and it's something that I never let go. It's something that I've loved in my heart since I was a little boy, since I was 7 years old, and I used to watch Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth and Coco Beware and Rowdy Roddy Piper and Junkyard Dog and George Animal Steel, Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov. It's something that I loved, and it's something that I've continued to love through the years. And you know, you hear people outside of the wrestling bubble, I wouldn't pay a cent for that crap. I wouldn't go to that show, and it's fake, and it makes you mad on the inside. And you can tell when you're around a crowd that doesn't like pro wrestling, because you'll start bringing stuff up. Like, for instance, I was sitting with a group of people, and I was entertaining them. We were hanging out one night. I was hanging out with a group of people, and I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be good entertainment to break out my briefcase, and because it was the Money in the Bank day. So what did I do? I broke out my briefcase, and and it was a huge mark out moment for me. But everybody in that room was just, I mean, I've had so many dinners with groups of people and stuff, and where you'll start bringing up a wrestler or anything, and it's just silence. You know, people outside of the wrestling bubble, they just don't really accept pro wrestling. The mainstream media, when they make fun of pro wrestling, it honestly, it makes me mad on the inside. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I've kind of steered away from watching ESPN through the years, is because all the jokes and all the pot shots at pro wrestling and how fake it is. And like that guy Colin Cowherd, he really upset me because of his smirky attitude towards pro wrestling, about how fake it was and it's all steroids and this and that. And the Nancy Grace thing bothered me too. You know, you know what's sad about it is, I mean, I'm a basketball fan, a huge basketball NBA fan, huge football fan, baseball. You know, I mean, I love a bunch of other sports. I mean, football season's coming up and stuff, but, you know, wrestling never stops. And people and their smirky attitudes towards pro wrestling, just, it sucks. And a lot of times when people find out about your wrestling problem, a lot of times people don't even want to talk to you anymore. A lot of people think you're a nut. And it's not really like that. It's just something you grew up with. And, you know, I'll say this in closing. And I've kind of been rambling here a little bit. Not a very exciting day. I mean, LeBron went back to the Cavs, which is cool. You know, very proud of him for going back to Cleveland, you know. It's kind of quiet on here. You know, I busted out a lot of videos this week. You know, so today's kind of like a so-so video. But I just want to say that in closing, you know, I'm damn proud to be a wrestling fan. I'm damn proud to stand up for pro wrestling. And I've learned to live with the judgment that comes along with being a pro wrestling fan. I've learned to live with the silence. And so you tend to gravitate yourself towards other people who like pro wrestling too and that won't judge you. And that's one of the coolest things about being here on YouTube is people think it's cool that you like wrestling. And I think that that's something that's kept me around here on YouTube for so long. Was people think it's cool on here to like wrestling, and I really like that feeling, the no judgment. I really like being able to connect to you guys because I can talk about what I like and you guys think that that's really cool. So anyways, just wanted to bust this video out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Kind of my thoughts on what happens when people find out you're a wrestling fan. So from Gemini, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. I have some ideas for a really, really cool video tomorrow. And I just wanted to thank you guys once again I don't thank you guys enough for subscribing to my channel, but because of you guys, you know, we've been able to expand this channel to 1,800 subs. You know, despite a lot of criticisms and dislikes, I think you guys get the wrong idea about me sometimes, you know, because of my network videos and stuff. And, you know, a lot of that's my fault too, because I tend to get exaggerated a little bit. I tend to get a little animated and probably say some things I shouldn't say. So there comes some criticism, and I accept that criticism. I accept the good criticism, not so much like you're a bitch and whiny. To me, that's like stupid. But if you're gonna come at me with like legit points, I respect that a lot more than you're a bitch and you're whiny and stuff. So anyways, we're going to wrap this up. I've gone long enough, but just want to talk to you guys about people's reaction when they find out you're a wrestling fan. And I'm Jim, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you. Peace.